The psychology of more. This is why you crave what you hate. In this video, I'm going to talk about it, so I'm going to get into it really quickly. The main reason why you're addicted to something or you crave your object of desire, it's because of the neuromodulator dopamine. Dopamine is responsible for three things: liking, wanting, and learning. So if you can probably figure out why dopamine is responsible for your craving, because dopamine makes you want something. So this is the mechanism of action. When you get a cue from your environment or a memory, so that triggers you to want something, like maybe it's a can of Coke, right? You have a can of Coke at a certain time every day, and when that time comes along, you get this trigger. So dopamine spikes once you get the cue, and that spike will drop into a valley. The valley lies below your dopamine set point or your baseline dopamine. So the trigger, the cue, spikes your dopamine into a peak above your dopamine baseline. And then when you don't have that Coke, your dopamine drops below the level of baseline. And that's where you feel the craving. This craving is felt as a pain. That discomfort is meant to drive you to attain the object of your desire. And that's why dopamine is responsible for craving, liking, wanting, and learning. It's the molecule of more. Just think about any time you want more of something, it's the dopamine that's driving you. And it's usually because you get a spike of dopamine and then the dopamine drops below your baseline. And it's that discrepancy, that tension that drives you forward towards a behavior or an action. Now, usually evolutionarily, this is responsible for driving us to hunt, to gather, to find food, and to find a mate or to find shelter, to seek things out that will benefit us for our survival. But because we're not in a dangerous environment anymore, we still have the same evolutionary mechanism, and this time it's overridden by things that we don't need anymore, things that are self-destructive and addictive, like pornography or social media and instant gratification from notifications, or short-form media content like reels and sweets and sugar. All these different things, alcohol, drugs, substances, because they're immediately rewarding and they act on the dopamine reward pathway. So what can you do about this? How do you stop this? Well, you have to break the cycle, and you break the cycle by catching the trigger and the cue. So you catch the trigger and the cue by realizing when you crave something. If you recognize when you crave something, you can tie that to the dopamine driving you to want more of your object of desire. It's the craving. So recognize that there's this dopamine that's causing you to crave. And when you recognize that, you kind of take its power away, because then you can say, well, I'm not going to go and get that can of Coke from the fridge. I'm going to go outside and walk around the block and come back. You need to distract yourself. You need to go do something else, or maybe replace the Coke with a water or milk, or maybe having a banana, something that's a little bit more complex carbs and healthier than a can of syrup. You have to catch the trigger, catch the cue, and catch the craving, and then interject the craving with a new habit. So a new habit loop, right? You can't just take a habit and get rid of it. You have to replace it with something new and something better. So I hope this video finds you well. Give me a like and subscribe. Check out this video for more.